Hey, everybody, this is E. Marcel with the Sports Inquirer, and we're joined once again by head coach of Georgia Tech volleyball, Michelle Collier. Coach, thank you for joining us. We're not getting into specifics of what's going on with the department. I'm sure if you're watching this, you know what's happened over the past few days. But how do you keep the team focused and just on the task at hand with everything going on with the athletic department and beyond?
Yeah, we think there are a lot of things outside of our control, so we're focusing on the things that we can control. We love this place, and we want to keep representing it at a very high level. And so we're gonna, stay together and just kind of keep moving forward.
Yeah, and you're progressing through the season very well. Got a victories over this weekend over Wake Forest and Virginia Tech. We'll start with the Wake Forest contest. Uh, Two things. One, you individually, but then you'll start with you individually. It was your 200th career win. What did that mean for you? And did you ever think you'd reach this accomplishment after your playing career, professionally and collegiately? Do you think you'd be at the stage of reaching 200 career victories as a head coach?
Yeah, no, it's pretty exciting. Obviously, I haven't played one point of that. I might say I won one point, which was the last point at Virginia Tech yesterday or Sunday when I won the challenge. But besides that one, all the other points are played by some great people, and I'm just very fortunate to have worked with a lot of really great players who believed in their potential and the things that they could do on the court and played hard for each other. And I have had great staff around me that has helped us put them in great positions to win and learn about the game and continue to grow and kind of benefit from this great experience. So, yeah, just grateful for the opportunity to do what I do. Thankful for everyone that has been a part of those 201 now, and looking forward to 202.
When did you realize that coaching would be your profession? You played collegiately, one of the best careers in history of your program, and still ranked very high NCAA level. You played professionally around the world, literally. When did you realize that coaching may be a profession for you? Because I think you did coach while you were playing in college, junior team. Is that was that a point for you where you could realize, okay, I can maybe pursue this as a profession when my playing career is over?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I wanted to stay connected to the game. I think that the sport of volleyball obviously means a lot to my life and has opened a lot of doors and given me some great opportunities. So it's been present in my life since a very young age, and it's just something that I couldn't feel myself kind of going away from it. And I think the coaching just came naturally. I think I was a natural leader and a connector of people, and so I always had good relationships in the teams I played for, and was always able to play some leadership roles, and all that stuff just really came very naturally. So I think that it was just the natural transition. I played and I wanted to stay connected with the game, and coaching was kind of the next thing after your body can't play anymore. I think that coaching is kind of the next step. And I've been learning a lot about the profession. I think that the more and the longer I am in it, there's still a lot that I got to learn and get better. But I love it. It's every day is just so, it's never the same. It's always new challenges, new opportunities, new things you have to think about. And I think just kind of fits my personality and style really well. And so it's something that doesn't it's not like it stresses me out. It really excites me to help people figure things out and to help them see greatness in themselves and come together, and really just play a fun game. I mean, I love this game, and I think there's so many things that our athletes can learn from it. And I just hope that they leave here with a little bit of the passion that we have for it, and that they carry over as they go on with their lives. So yeah, no, I'm very grateful to do what I do. Um, Always wanted to be the best that I can at it. I know there's still a long ways to go and a lot of things I need to learn and continue to get better. But just grateful for the opportunity to be a coach and to be able to lead in a place like Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and do you think? Oh, how do I ask this? Is it more challenging, or has it changed since you first became a head coach, just the profession in general, as far as just the expansion of the sport, NILs, things like that? What's been kind of the biggest changes, maybe even on the court, maybe the way the players perform? What have been some of just the things, from your first victory to where you are now as the sport of college volleyball evolves?
Yeah, no, I think just the game has changed. It's a lot more physical. I think that the players and just kind of the generations have changed, so you have to adapt uh, to how to get the best out of each generation and that stuff, and kind of each group of people that are together. Um, I think that this is one of the biggest the most interesting part about the job. It's really you always having to problem solve and figure it out what is the best solution for this group of people that you have or for this situation. And there is not always a straight answer all the time. Like it's rarely the same thing, So it's pretty cool to go through that process together with your players and your staff and try to figure it out, but it's always changing and evolving, and you always have to adapt and try to stay ahead of what you think it's coming, or where you think the game is going, or where you think recruiting is going, or where you think even college sports are going, and things like that. So you got to continue to kind of think ahead and keep yourself ahead, as you get better with your profession as well. There is more expectations, bigger visibility and things like that. So you have to learn how to deal with that um, while managing normal life as
Mhm.
well, and being a mom and having kids that are growing and developing as well in my own house and your marriage and all these other things that you have to go through as you grow in as an individual. So I really think that coaching is awesome. You really get to grow and learn, and you have to be better for the people around you. And I think that really helps you get better as a person. It helps you grow as a person because you want to be the best that you can for those around you, um, and that challenges you on a daily basis. And so it's pretty cool.
Appreciate you talking so much about yourself. I know you don't like to do that often, but
No,
we had to get talk about the victories. We'll get back to on the court
no
now.
problem. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. But no, watching the Tech game and then, Virginia Tech and then the Wake Forest contest, seemed like the serving has really picked up for the team. I think you had 8 aces in one match, 7 aces in another. Breland serving well. Julia, what about that part of your game, serving and then serve receive? Because I looked up, I think you've allowed the least amount of aces in the conference so far this year. So what about the serve game, serving itself and then receiving? Because it seems like that's really picked up for the team this year at these past few matches.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely something that we try to just get locked in again. I think that we've kind of have gone through some up and downs, even though there were parts and times in the matches where our serving wasn't as efficient as it needed to be. I think that if you look at the whole match and if you look at the numbers, we actually did a pretty good job of doing what we wanted to do with our opponent, which is put them in uncomfortable situations, um, and then be able to serve receive well on our side so that we can get everybody involved offensively. And that is always our two. And probably if you ask every coach in the country, they will say, serve and pass, serve and pass. Um, but I mean, it starts with that on both sides. When you're on offense, when you're in defense, it's the first contact, and it can help you a lot one way or the other. So it is something that we definitely try to emphasize in our gym and in our scouting and how we want to just attack our opponents. And I was very pleased to see that we did it at a high level this weekend.
And as I mentioned, I mean, I think you're at least double digits less receiving aces or giving up aces than any other team in the conference. What is the key to that? Is that scouting? Is just having the talent? Is just having experience of what do you think has led to success of not allowing those a large amount of aces this year?
Our players are putting in the time. They're getting the reps. I think that Paula has really come a long way with her serve receive, and she's really has, as of lately, just put in a lot of time to get better in that side of the game and defensively as well. So she has really been somebody that maybe over the last 2 weeks has really grown and stepped up, and we're so excited for her and for her growth. And Julia and Bianca are, as much as they do everything else, I think that that serve receive is one of their top strengths, and so to have three players that can be pretty solid for you puts a lot of pressure on the serving team to have to really get after on their serves. And so you see a lot of missed serves on the other side as well, because they have to serve our stuff, because if they don't, then those guys are, good enough to put balls in system. Um, so it's really just I think it's a merit of them and their quality and that skill, and obviously the team for training and helping them get better in our gym. But obviously they do that skill at a very high level.
And now you have Notre Dame and Louisville coming up this weekend. I mean, two very strong opponents on the road. ESPN is going to be there for the Louisville contest. How do you handle this weekend? A lot of eyes going to be on the program, especially for that Louisville contest. How is the team getting ready for that? Just for the attention that's going to be on the program over the next few days.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as a sport, this is what we wanted the opportunity to have. I think that that all the games that ESPN has picked up of lately have been great. They have been getting great responses from our viewership as well. So obviously the game is growing. We have some great athletes who are working really, really hard, and I think that they're getting an opportunity to just play in front of a larger audience. But which I do not think about that too much. I think that we got to go in and play the game that we always play. Obviously, easier said than done, but I think that in the end of the day, this is how we give back to the sport. Is we put together a good product out there, we compete, we get after it, and then we get to show the world, just really all the hard work that we do behind the scenes and putting it together in front of a larger audience for the game to keep growing. So it's a great opportunity, and I hope that we can, maximize it.
Is that the biggest difference from we talked a few minutes ago about from when you were first started coaching and playing? Is media coverage the biggest thing? I mean, this probably wouldn't have happened when you first started in different outlets. There was no ESPN Plus, ACC network, or even a conference network. Is that the biggest difference you think from when you were playing and just first started coaching
Yeah,
to
no,
where we are in 2022?
yeah, that has definitely been a big growth from, even 2008 when I started coaching to now. I mean, before they were doing the streaming on the school's websites, and you had to pay for subscription there, and and then it just kind of the production kept getting better and better and better. Um, Obviously now we even have like the replay system and the challenges and all these things. So it's been great to see just the evolution of the game, and it is something that internationally has been around for a long time. So it's great to see that in college we're catching up to it, and we're giving it the right exposure. It is a very popular game here in the U.S., and it's great to see that young girls can now have role models and easier access to watch them play.
Yeah, and ESPN, you mentioned the ratings. I know that Kentucky and Louisville earlier this year did very well, even when softball, I know it's not your sport, but what about the women's sports? Just when they are on that national stage, they draw the women's soccer team, of course, as well, and many other sports. But it
Yeah.
seems like volleyball and softball really draw well on a national stage. Do you think that's just a factor of it being out there and not only just women watching, but just sports fans in general really embracing those sports?
For sure. I think that these women are great athletes, and they're putting together a good product. They're competing at a very high level. So you see in just a great competition match that it's being played very physically. They're strong, they're fast, they look good, they compete, they're aggressive. So it's great. It's great to see that you can be feminine, and you can still be aggressive, and you can still do all these things that women can do at a very high level, and being able to be just as good for you to watch it as a male sport, sometimes even better. So it just depends on what's out there. But just even being given the opportunity, I think that's what every, you know, women deserves and sports deserve, is just get us out there, and then let kind of the public decide what they want to keep watching or not keep watching, you know. So it's great to see that it's out there, and it's getting more and more out there. So that means that they're getting a good response from it, which is no surprise, I think, from anybody in the volleyball community. We knew how high this game is being played at this level. And there's some great matches and great coaches and great athletes out there that are doing it at a very high level. And I'm glad that they're getting the opportunity to showcase, you know, for a larger audience, for sure.
Well, Coach, thank you for your time. And you're going to have that spotlight on Sunday against Louisville, but then also Friday against Notre Dame. Safe travels to South Bend and Louisville, and we'll catch up later on.
Sounds good. Thank you.